The law of large numbers is very, very important in real life. All right. And this is what it is. Essentially, very simple definition. Because you know me, I like to keep things very simple. Law of large numbers is just the ideology that something over many, many times will create a very specific outcome. For example, law of large numbers. Say you're practicing shooting a three-pointer in basketball. If you practice that enough every single day for a certain amount of time, whether that's a year, 2 years, doesn't matter, it will equal you becoming better at making that three-pointer, I hope. And it's as very simple as that. So now, let's implement it in your life. Say you're trying to be a YouTuber. Law of large numbers is you upload videos, okay, whether that's one time a day, whether that's once a week, once a month. You upload a video, and every single video, you try to make it better, 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 better. You're telling me over a long period of time, whether that's a month, a week, a year, doesn't matter. Let's just say 500. So over 500 times in each video, you're getting better, better, better. You're telling me you won't eventually succeed. Now, every video, you have to actually try to make it better. And you have to keep on uploading and keep on making it better. Because that's the law of large numbers. Eventually, you will get your outcome. Right now, when it comes to something like studying, say you're trying to get an A in class. Mind you, say you just learn, you're in psychology, you just learn something new. Say you try to study that day. Maybe you study 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, 5 days later, 6 days later. You keep studying good, by the way, not just cramming. I'm talking about 30 minutes a day, here. Eventually you will learn the thing, right? You're trying to learn how to tint cars. You keep practicing on windows. Eventually, over a long period of time, you will get better. Everything is as simple as that. It's called the law of large numbers. This is the same thing that traders use. This is the same ideology that professional gamblers use, people that play blackjack for a living, that count cards. This is very popular for them because this is their edge. Law of large numbers. Essentially, it's you having an edge, and over a long period of time, you will win. Once again, how to implement this in your life. Anything you want to do. Say you want to have your own business. You try one business, you go 100%, say it fails. You do another business, it fails. Another one. Eventually, you will succeed. It's like that one meme. I don't know if it's a meme, I don't know what it is. It's like that one picture when there's two different people, right? Say it's two different people. There's diamonds right here. This guy right here, he's been digging, and then he stops. But this guy, he keeps digging, and eventually he's the one who hits the diamonds. Even though this guy was ahead, but he stopped right before. He didn't keep going. Now, once again, law of large numbers would have been you keep going, you'll eventually succeed. Most of the time, I would say like 90% of the time, you write a book. Your book fails. You write it again. It fails. You write it again. It fails. Write it again and again and again and again and again. Eventually, you will succeed. So technically, this means you can succeed in anything you want. Things that are realistic. You're not going to... If you shoot enough three-pointers, you might become the best three-pointer in the world. Maybe you'll make it to the NBA. Whatever. That's just an example. A very rare example. But I don't like saying things like rare and stuff because I feel like you generally can do anything. For example, like Isaiah Thomas. What is he like? Less than 6 foot. He's in the NBA. But I don't want to get off track. Let's go back on track. Law of large numbers, okay. Anything you do, just remember you can succeed at it as long as you just keep going and going and going and going and going. But you also have to be improving. Because it's very, very essential. And if you're not watching this part of the video, you're gonna still fail in life. This is the very, very, very most important part of this whole law of large numbers thing. Once again, let's go back to the gamblers, the professional gamblers, and the professional traders. They both rely on it, right? But what did I say before? They rely on it with an edge. So when you have an edge, law of large numbers will work. If you don't have an edge, it doesn't matter how many fucking times you do it, you'll always fail. So this is what I'm saying. If you're trying to become a YouTuber, what's your edge? Your edge is making the videos better. But if you don't try to keep making them better, you're not doing anything. The law of large numbers does not work. If you're shooting 3-pointers, if you're practicing, but you're not practicing with nobody in front of you, you're not practicing with a timer, you're not practicing with real life situations, essentially it's going to be useless. Because yeah, you're going to be able to shoot in an open court with nobody around you, no pressure, but when there's pressure and people around you, it doesn't fucking matter, right? When it comes to studying, cramping, it's not going to do anything. But 30 minutes here, 30 minutes tomorrow, 30 minutes the day before, you try to learn it. That's your edge. You got to have an edge. That's the main thing. This is why I'm keeping it toward the last part of the video, because this is for people that actually watching the video. People that skipped in the beginning, they're going to continue to fail, because law of large numbers only work if you have an edge. And if you don't, you're just doing the same bullshit over and over again, which is what 90% of people do, which is why they are stuck in the same place as they were 2 years ago. When it comes to business and you keep failing, back to my last video. You keep learning, get better, smarter, being able to handle more pressure, better management. If you're learning everything from every single failure, you become powerful. Because my last video, imagine you learn from business, right? Every time you fail, you learn, you try to get better. And then you combine it with law of large numbers. Now, every time you fail, you get better. Law of large numbers. Eventually, you will succeed with a very good business. It's as simple as that. You go to the gym, law of large numbers will work. When you have an edge, when you're having progressive overload, you're pushing yourself harder than last time, Greg Doucette. That is your edge in the gym. That's why law of large numbers, which means over a period of time you will grow. But if you're stuck on the same weight, doing the same bullshit, you won't be growing over. Maybe a little bit, but you won't be growing. Such a simple ideology, right? Because it's as simple as that. You take everything that you just learned from here, implement it in your life, keep it as simple. I promise you'll grow. I learned something from one of my businesses that I've been trying to do. Didn't really take off. So I took everything I learned from there, and now I'm implementing in a different business that already works. That I'm restarting with somebody else. We have a different business that worked, made over 6 figures in sales. We stopped working on it. We try to work on something else. But we learned so much from the other thing, even though it failed, we're going to take that and go back to the 6-figure business that essentially stopped. And we're going to try and do it again. Simple as that. That's all you do in life. Trial, error, learn, law of large numbers. Eventually you will win. It's like a graph. You will eventually win. When you have an edge. If you don't have an edge, you're going to do the same bullshit. And it's not going to take you anywhere. Now, what is that edge? That edge is whether that's you learning, whether that's you getting a new skill, whether that's you pushing yourself harder. I don't know. It depends on the situation. There's never a direct answer for anything. It always depends on the situation. All right? And that is the main thing in life. And I promise you, even though I'm a small YouTuber right now, if I keep trying to get better, I'll take over this self-improvement space, kick out all the bullshit, kick out all this stupid ass morning routines, nighttime routine, push out the realism, which is the real truth. Fuck everyone else's truth. But it all depends on the person. If you like my shit better, it'll work. If you like someone else's shit better, it'll work. But realism is the truth. That's it.